We got our wrench. We got our wrench.
Hey, yo! Let me go work on some shit. Oh, is that important?
So guys, welcome back to another episode, Renting with Wrenches. So today
we got a guest!
My brother, Daniel Murray, we at his shop, Auto Quarter Mile Performance, and today we're going to do basically a little interview with him on everything he's done so far with owning the shop. So the first question we're going to start with is...
How much did it cost? Where did you get it from? Why did you do it? Too early? Alright, too early.
Just avoid the guy who's sitting in the corner. What is it like owning a business?
You get strippers in here?
I'm married. No, I'm not married.
That doesn't answer the question.
It's difficult. More headaches.
What's the headaches? What's like? All right, when you first opened, what was?
You can't tell, ladies and gentlemen, he's a little nervous. Him and Joe are very soft-spoken people, unlike yours truly.
Listen, we all don't come from a background.
Calm down. Don't start.
So, all right, let's say this. What is the first problem you ran into when you first opened?
Getting equipment.
So money.
Yeah, money always plays an issue, you know. And then the easy part is getting a location. You know, you just gotta have the first month, last month security. Or if you want to buy a shop, you can buy a shop straight out. But it's equipment, and then it's also finding a structure. Like,
What do you mean the structure? Like, you know, like how tall is it? How wide is it? Or you talking about being able to just set your shit up so that you can work efficiently?
Structure as in like everything. You know, if you're gonna have employees, how you gonna pay employees, how you gonna get paid, you know, and then like the stress come in where like you gotta get equipment, and you know it's not simple because every car won't take the same tools. You know what I mean? So German cars, they got different tools. Hondas is more simple. Pretty much, you could take a Honda apart with a 10 millimeter.
Yeah, pretty much. 10 millimeter wrench, some
drivers, you know what I mean? And
maybe kick it a couple of times, you know, shit like that.
But just everything. Finding a cheap place where you get oil, brake cleaner, you know, all the essentials you need to like.
So that actually leads into a question that I was thinking about, but so supply chain.
Right.
So getting tires.
Absolutely.
Are you buying tires on your own and stock them up, or do you have a place that you go to that you order, let's say, you know, 200 tires a month, something like that?
I used to
sell them per order.
I used to sell used tires.
Okay.
So like, depending on how much tires you buy, the cheaper it's going to be per tire. But you know, everybody think you know selling used tires is a lot of money, which you could make a lot of money selling used tires. Only thing is you got to have the clientele and the space to hold these tires.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And being that my shop is not but so big, I can't really hold 200 tires, you know. When I first opened, the first thing I did is I jumped the gun, you know what I mean? And you seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I had a ton of tires here, and you know, I had the tire machine, everything ready to go, and you know, it took me like a year to sell like probably 100 tires.
Yeah. That's a long time for tires.
And it is, and you know, that's
and this is the area where tires, you eat up tires.
Right.
In like what?
But you know what? We inside a world where if I sell used tires for $30, $35, people go on Amazon and buy a used tire, a new tire for $50.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So people was like balancing it out, like I could get a used tire that's going to be good for 3 months, or I can get a new tire that'll probably last me a year and a half.
All right, so one more quick bounce off from that is, have you found that it's better to sell your own tires or to just install people's tires that buy their own stuff from like eBay, Amazon, wherever?
Well, I still have contacts where I can get discounted tires.
Okay.
New tires and used tires. Only thing is for me to go out and get it. Well, the new tires come to me.
Okay.
Used tires, I will have to go out and get it. You know, I'm going to send one of my guys to go get it. But it's just a lot simpler. You know, now all I do is I plug, patch tires. People bring their own tires. I mount it, balance it for them. You know, I keep Boston's in stock.
Balancing weights and stuff like that.
Yeah, balancing weights and stuff like that. So
Probably balance Joe's tires quite often, taking advantage.
I know balance mines.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell.
I don't do that. So what would you say is, because I know when you first opened, there were certain jobs you wouldn't do, like motor swaps or anything that required a large amount of hours of work to put in. But what would be, what platform?
Why you trying to throw him on the bus like that?
no, God,
Listen, only tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. You know what I'm saying? Well,
What if we had a Bible here, that shit would light on fire right now.
So what platform you right now that you wouldn't want to do at all? The hardest platform, Honda, BMW, what wouldn't you do?
Alright, before I even answer this, right, I seen y'all other video where
What are you talking about?
y'all had the German.
Okay, the German. Okay, so the
Subaru
German versus
discussion.
Japanese.
And I feel like we about to re-enter that.
We could do that. We could dabble in that a little bit. We got plenty of time.
Well,
we're only about 7 minutes in, so we keep going.
Yeah. All right. German jobs, they pay more because it's more complicated. There's more labor hours than compared to a Honda or whatever the case is. Now, what's most complicated is always going to be German. It's just because their technology is more advanced and it's more, everything about it is difficult. You know,
It's funny, when it comes to
It's
standard
not
maintenance
regular.
of German cars, there's a lot of unnecessary shit.
Yeah, it's not regular.
There's a lot of unnecessary stuff.
And then they got probably 30 different size bolts on their motor. They got Allen keys. They got start bits. They got everything. You know what I mean? Compared to like a domestic vehicle.
But you never be bored. Tell you that.
Never. And you will never get rid of a check engine light.
No, I'm still working on that. I mean, you could get a file through a tune.
But me personally,
Other than that,
I'm obsessed with alleys. So I like alleys.
my man.
But
We can stop right there.
But you know, to revisit y'all other video, Subaru definitely have the better 4-wheel drive system. You know, and
Everyone knows that by now. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Listen.
The Audi Quattro and the symmetrical fucking all-wheel drive and Subarus. You know what I mean? Look at what Subaru's doing, going with the whole with being able to move the power and the differential around. Audi's been doing that for a while. That's been the purpose of the third differential in the center of the system. So don't count them out quite yet. But go ahead, continue.
And what was your question again?
Basically the platform. What's more difficult? What wouldn't you do? But what car would you prefer to get all the time? Like to get the most?
Honda, of course. Honda. It's easy. It's easy, and then it's like everything's just simple about it. Only thing is I haven't really worked on a newer Honda. So
I can't really see it being that different though.
I can't either.
Maybe a little bit more plastic in the engine.
Yeah,
bay.
a couple more wires. And,
Yeah, a few more wires or
But,
something like that. But they probably running what they got. What the same 3-4 platforms that they run in the Civic and the Accord, and then with the V6 Accords.
Right.
You know what I mean? With the exception now that they got the turbo 4-cylinder.
Well, they pin turbos and everything now. You know what I mean? And what they call it, Eco Boost.
Oh, that's
EcoBoost and
that's
everything.
what's that?
Isn't that Mustang?
Yeah, that's Ford EcoBoost.
Ford, Chevy.
Shit.
They got it in what you call it, the Cruise.
Yeah, you're right.
They got it in a couple stuff, but everything is EcoBoost.
Yeah.
You know, even pickup trucks now, they're going EcoBoost. You know what I mean? It's just an easier way to get the best gas mileage for a turbo car.
Yeah, especially with them smaller suckers. You
Yeah,
know,
and you know the EcoBoost turbo is only
it's
so
tiny.
big. You know,
It's
what I mean?
tiny.
You don't even know it.
It's probably smaller than the K3.
Yeah, it look like an evac canister. You don't even know what it is. You know.
That's most people ain't gonna be looking for it. You know, I would love to see someone take their EcoBoost Chevy Aveo and throw like a T25 turbo on there.
And that'd be nice.
That car just slide right off the road when you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You thinking about it, Joe?
No.
Is that your next project? No? Alright. Look like a Hershey.
I seen
It look like a Hershey Kiss on wheels.
I seen a YouTube channel where the guy had was it a Chevy Cruze.
The Chevy Cruisers aren't
Tuned
bad
out with
because they
the-
got the RS versions
Yeah.
that came turbo, and if you really take a good look, they remind you of the Mark IV Jettas. That body style, like that short, wide stance with the flares. That's basically what Chevy did. They was like, oh, you know what? This was a popular car. Let's do the same thing now. Bunch of lazy bastards.
Another question I want to ask is how is it having people work for you under your shop? Any
You guys
headache?
know we have his people in the background. I'm gonna do a little. There's one. There's another one.
You know, it's we work as a team. You know what I mean? And like
I'ma just fix you real quick,
I
yeah.
always was like before I even started the shop, and the main reason why I started the shop is because I'm tired of working for other people, and then I love cars. You know what I mean? And I have a passion for cars, and I have a passion for making people happy. You know what I mean? And if you're not planning to have happy customers, you might as well not have any type of business. You know what I'm saying? If you're not a people's person, you shouldn't have any type of business. You know what I mean?
Especially with cars.
Especially with
Because
cars,
you got
yes.
people asking a lot of questions.
Absolutely.
They don't know nothing.
Absolutely.
They automatically assume you're stealing from them.
Absolutely.
People who
Automatic.
take their car and come back. Hey,
Absolutely.
you didn't do this, right?
Now you know what it is too. You know what it is too. People bring their cars here, right? And it be multiple problems with their cars, but they don't realize that they only paying you to do one job.
Yeah.
They think because you see it, you gotta fix it. It doesn't work like that. What's gonna
It's not
happen?
construction.
What's gonna happen is I'ma see the issue. I'ma fix the issue that you're paying me to fix, and then I'ma tell you about your other issues. And a lot of people feel like mechanics is messing with something else so you can come back to them. You know what I mean? And it is mechanics out there that do that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, I haven't heard a lot. I haven't heard as much about it in the past few years as I had in the past. When I was first getting into the field, and I was working under some dude's wing in his own shop. You heard that all the time. Like, do I really need this? Because I went to Jack Williams or I went to Midas.
Yeah.
They told me all this. I went to Coast, and the guy was like, "Hey, I'll take a look at it. I'll let you know what you need.
Right.
It's up to you to fix it, but you gotta understand."
well,
You know what I mean?
you
Certain
know what it
things.
is too. You know what it is too. It's something called upcharge. and a
Oh,
downcharge.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of inspection spots, they'll check it out and your brakes probably be at 50%. And they'll tell you like, listen, your brakes is a little iffy. And then a lot of people are like, all right, fix it. And just because they want the inspection.
Yeah.
But not understanding you're gonna pass the inspection regardless. But they upcharge, they sell the brakes so they make even more money.
Yeah.
You know, and that's part of business. You know,
Yeah, that's any business.
Bigger
Any
people,
business will upcharge.
bigger people do that a lot. You know what I mean? Like Jack Williams.
That's why when I go there,
all these brands and stuff.
I let them make me a list.
They
You know,
train.
you know,
That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Right.
If
Let
you
them make me a list.
if you know you need work done in your car, go to Jack Williams, Coast, Midas, whoever you got, Pep Boys, have them make a list for you. Get that list and either take it to someone you trust, take it to your grandpa, your uncle, your cousin, or take it back to them and just plan it out ahead and do one thing at a time. The most important shit first. But understand that some of that stuff is going to be expensive regardless.
Absolutely.
Stop being cheap, Joe.
Please, I want to do.
No, I'm cheap as hell. I do all the work myself unless it's something that either requires a lot of time, because I got babies running around. You know, they want to stick their head up in there with me. So I'm like, yeah, I can't do this. They're not going to leave me alone. Or I can't afford for the car to be down for like 2-3 days while I'm doing this. I find a problem and then get back to it. Like, I took my car to have his timing belt done. Turned out the person who owned it before me tried to do something, and they completely stripped out the bolts, the hex bolts that hold the balancer in. And they had to order a whole new bolts as well as the automatic balancer because they ruined the wheel. Now, had that been me, car would have been down while I tried to find a part.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
You know what I mean? Would have been assed out, just sitting there, car up in the air.
We live in a town where it's not safer, but it's better to learn how to do your own work. You know what I mean? Like, two trades that everybody should have some type of knowledge in is mechanics. You know, fix your car, and also construction. You know, because you're always going to need a car, and you're always going to need to fix
You
your
gotta know
house.
how to change a tire before you can know how to fix a car. Because not a lot of people know how to change a tire.
We got some peanut gallery comment. So learn how to change your tires
Tire.
before. Now that doesn't mean the actual tire itself.
Right.
That means if you hit a flat, know how to take the spare wheel out of your trunk and put it onto your car,
Not only
so you can
on,
drive to the shop.
Not only on,
It's
but
tight.
on right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people put it backwards.
I've honestly I'm dying to see that. I know
No
it's
problem.
dangerous, but I'm dying to
Not
see
only
that.
that, too,
I'm gonna look up something on YouTube because I haven't seen that.
Yeah, not only that too,
It's
but
there. It's there.
make sure your flat, make sure your spare tire, the donut is in the back of the car.
And it's got air.
It's not your steering,
And it's got air.
and it definitely got air, and definitely air.
Yeah, I've seen that people with donuts on in the front, and then the car's riding like this. Like you messing up your suspension.
You don't know.
Now you know.
Now I got a question for y'all. I don't have the answer for it. I just want to see if y'all have the answer for it.
Let's go.
Now, why do they make spare tires one size?
Smaller.
So you can do donuts.
That is retarded. From my understanding, talking to a somebody who actually works for manufacturers, this goes back like 11 years when I was in school. If you put a regular size wheel inside your car, they're gonna like, okay, I don't need that wheel. They're just gonna roll around that wheel, even if it looks different from the rim or whatever. Most people don't care enough to go and get that wheel replaced if they have a full size replacement in the trunk. They'll take off the bad wheel, throw it in the trunk, cover it up, and forget about it. But if it's a donut, something small that looks like it belongs in a bicycle or a tricycle or a scooter, they're more than likely to go to a shop and have it replaced.
So they put that in there on purpose.
Exactly.
So you force you to replace it.
Because you look at big vehicles like off-road vehicles, Jeep Wranglers.
Yeah.
No, not
But don't-
Land Rovers. But so basically like
yeah,
Jeeps,
Land Rovers,
Jeeps,
too.
Land Rovers, the Toyota FJ, big joints like that. They have full-size backups
I hate
because you're meant to go
off-roading with them.
I hate that.
You know, FJ is
Hate
retarded.
it.
Too expensive.
Ugliest car.
But even if you look at full size, like I guess light trucks like the GMC Acadia, the Dodge Durango, things like that, they have full size spares mounted underneath the car because something with that much weight you can't afford to put a donut on. You know what I mean? But again, the wheel won't match the rims that are on there, but you know it's a steel. But once you put that on, if the person feels no difference, they're not going to rush to replace it. But if it's an all-wheel drive and someone knows what they're doing, then they're going to rush to replace it. Especially if you still have like the original manufacturer tires, they're not gonna rush off. Hold on.
Alright guys, welcome back to another video. This will be part 2, talking with a mechanic. So today we have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson with us. He's currently working at my brother's shop as a mechanic. The main thing he does a lot is motor swaps. So,
Especially on the SRT4.
funny guy. I like that.
Well, speaking of which, SRT4.
Yeah.
What's the status?
What's going on with that? I heard a lot of different things going on. I'm worried.
Well, there's a lot of different things going on, as you heard. Right now it's down.
Oh, really?
It was down last time too. Just in case y'all missed that episode, we'll link that in the description so y'all can see that one.
It was down. It was down. But when it was up, this guy car happened to go down. So,
So it was up for a little
yeah,
bit of time.
It was.
So after Joe came by the first time, his car was up for a little while.
Yeah, it was up.
So, because he just recently took his car to the shop, like, what, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah,
2 weeks ago?
3 weeks.
2 weeks ago. So how long, so what, you got it up out the shop, drove it down 380 and blew it?
No. It was up and running for about maybe a month and a half. I took it to Jersey. My main goal was to get it ready for H2O.
Wait, you're going to take an SRT4 to a Volkswagen meet?
Listen, it's an everybody meeting. All right.
Not quite sure
I'll let you.
that's how it works. Now, if they said, we want to have a Skittles convention, I'd expect to see an SRT4 there.
You see these glorified Volkswagen drivers that think they're driving something.
Listen, calm down. That's just what I got now.
The only thing that you guys have is suspension. That's all those cars are worth. That 1.8T, that 2.0T. Listen,
First of all,
you can leave it.
First of all,
Dustin.
I ain't saying nothing about no 2.0T. That's the new stuff. I'm not up on that right now. All right. I got the old joint. I got the 180. All right. First of all, I know firsthand that this thing is not keeping up with that torque monster of an SRT4. I'll probably blow my motor. But right now, I can smoke your ass because you sitting on the floor.
So what you got planned for? What happened to fix?
Basically, what I did was I spun cylinder 1 crank bearing and cylinder 4 crank bearing. Took it apart. It was pretty wore down the bearings.
So, just real quick, for anyone who doesn't know what spun the bearings is, just they crapped out.
Yeah. I wish I still had the old ones, but I threw them away.
That would be a nice souvenir.
But I replaced one.
We didn't keep the balance.
Yeah, those
those are good ones?
Those are two and three, and 2 and 3.
Go ahead.
So
Go ahead. Keep
I
going.
ultimately just took the oil pan down, disassembled the balance shaft to get to the bearings, took it, polished the crank, and I replaced them. So I put new bearings from cylinder 1 all the way to 4.
Okay.
I have another motor that I'm going to build, so I have main bearings for that. I ordered brand new crank bearings for that.
So the motor that you're building, that's for the SRT401.
Yeah.
So so that's going to be what, your power motor, and this is just going to go back in just for running?
Yeah, so the motor that's here is just the motor to go back in.
So-
So that's the one that came with the car.
I didn't mention, my brother had an SRT4 too,
Okay.
which is the blue one sitting out there.
All right.
So,
That makes sense.
And then he took it over, so he has the engine. So, you know what I mean? He has the one from
Got
this
it.
red car, the one from the blue one, which is, he currently said he's going to build that one while he puts that one back in to drive, which is smart.
All right.
Which is smart.
So the gold one
Mm-hmm.
is going to be a track motor. Not a track motor, but
Performance.
It's going to be all
performance
all
motor.
around. You know what I mean?
So how
And
much?
that's
So
going to be a daily drive.
So how much horsepower are you looking to get out of the performance motor?
I'm looking to make about
800.
Yeah.
That's
Excuse me?
It's going to be a lot of money.
That's a lot.
Well, start turbo, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Start turbo, stock block, stock everything with the right tune. They can make what?
I mean, stop
Stop block.
stop motor can hold 500 horsepower.
Right.
And that's pushing it. That's
pushing
it
the
to its
limits.
Yeah. So I mean, to save power wise on the stop motor, it'd probably be like.
But then you figure
40.
you got to do to accompany that. There's going to be a lot of suspension work that goes into to help put all that power to the ground.
The biggest problem with the SRTs is hard to put the power to the ground.
Yeah,
No matter what you do
because
to it,
it's freaking savages
you know
when it comes to the tool.
they when they were made from factory, they come 230 crank. Then that's being horsepower,
Yeah.
250 in torque to the wheels. So just imagine as you upgrade, in terms
Those are numbers of I want to say late 90s, early 2000 muscle car numbers. Rear wheel drive vehicles were putting out stuff like that. Even sometimes in cases less, we're putting out with straight motors. Like V8s, we're putting out like what 220.
yeah, like the Firebird.
Yeah, like the Firebirds. The base model Camaros?
Yeah, the Z28.
Yeah. He may start sliding sideways, but once he gets traction, you're gonna be in trouble.
It's already a powerhouse. You know what I mean? I upgraded it, put a bigger turbo, 62 millimeter, and from the low end, the power's a little iffy. I spin first, second. Once I get into third, it goes. I mean, and that's how I spun the bearing. I actually ran the Audi TT. He took off from the light. It was still red. I sat there waiting for it to turn green, and once it turned green, you know how they say, chase is a race. So I had to chase him down. And successfully,
That can't be applied to everything. Just racing. You can't apply that to everything.
Some trouble.
It's a lot.
I chased him down. He was at 130.
All
I
right.
rode them in. And going out of fourth into fifth is, I'm guessing, where I had my bearing failure. Before that, I used to rip the car around every day. Not to fail me ever for 3 months straight. Whoop that ass from that motor.
Can't kill it.
Can't
Can't kill it.
For a fact.
and then
Destroying Hondas. Left and right.
This is true. I have videos.
We got a Honda, hit us up.
after the car's back on the road.
Well, it should be in a couple of days. It's ready to go back in.
Okay.
It's just, we have the motor job here that, is priority. Anything that's, if it don't make money, it don't make sense. And if it's my vehicle and it's taking up space, then it don't make sense because we're here to make money. You know what I mean? And to have happy customers. You know what I mean? Fixated on happy customers.
So let me ask you. So, how many motor swaps do you, I say, average a month? Because I'm not going to say a week because that's depending on the motor, what you got to take out, what you're fixing. It could take a while with parts coming and stuff. So, about a month, how many motors are you swapping and or repairing?
I'll say maybe 10 most.
10 motors a month? That sound about right?
That's because of choice. You know what I'm saying? Every like when you ask me that question, like what you wouldn't do, all money isn't good. You know what I'm saying? And if a car come in here and it's not up to par, where it's like if I touch something, I won't break something else. Rust issues and stuff like that, it become a liability.
Yeah.
So then you have to turn down jobs. You know what I mean? Just because you don't want to try to fix something and something else breaks. That's out of your control.
Sometimes you got to be the bearer of bad news and be like, this car's trash.
Right.
Just throw it and roll it off that slope over there.
Now, if we lived in Florida, where we won't have to deal with rust issues and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure that number will go up. And some months it fluctuates. Some months it will be.
And the one thing I like to add, especially if you live up here where we live and you know the people that live up here, you know they don't take care of their car. There's people who do no oil change, no change the filter, they don't change their tires. They go out here in the winter, ball tires, anything. And then they come bring it to you and they're like, oh, I don't know what happened to this thing. You're like, oh, did you do that? And they just look at you like, oh, I didn't know I had to do that. I didn't know I had to do the coolant flush and transmission flush.
That's another good comment. How often do you still see the old not stereotypes, but the myths of like, oh, you're not supposed to change your transmission fluid, or you don't change your coolant, or some dumb crap like that. Because I mean, in older vehicles, there was like, oh, you don't change your, you don't change out the transmission fluid.
Well,
like this was well before the days of the planetary gear set. So
I'm going to say, people still, to this day, they come and they want a transmission flush. But I'll stop them in their tracks and ask them, have you ever done it? Because if you have never, then I won't touch it. Because when you flush and you add new, it turns into a detergent and it kicks up the clutches. So I don't want ever the responsibility to be, hey, he did this and this was the outcome, knowing that you never ever serviced anything.
So what happened is if after a while, if you don't change the transmission fluid,
pay attention to
the minerals and pieces of the transmission is inside that fluid. So sometimes it's better safe to keep. Sometimes it's better
dirty fluid.
Yes. Than to put fresh fluid
people don't
after a certain
understand
amount of mileage.
Yeah, because people don't understand that the transmission fluid serves the same thing as your motor oil. It just lasts a little longer. It's a cleaner, it's a lubricator, it's a coolant. So every so often, you got to change that out. And what he's saying was that if you go too long without changing it, that dirt now becomes a part of the system. It starts to open up things and push things. So now when you are putting in fresh fluid, now you have slippage because now your tolerances have widened. So instead of being 1 millimeter thickness or 0.12 millimeters, now you've got a full half a millimeter, and your motor and your trans starts slipping, and basically you're just sitting there with the chip screaming at you. Like a lot of people don't understand that.
Too is, you know, people don't read the owner's manual to their car. They'll buy a brand new car. They'll drive on it.
They expect all the dummy lights to come on.
Right. They'll drive for 10 years with no problems, right? Except for regular stuff like brakes, oil change, air filter. You know, regular. And this is the thing. People think that's where the maintenance stops. You know what I mean? They don't check their owner's manual, and they drive 10 years like that, and then their motor go at 140,000 miles. 140,000 miles, right? And they're like, I don't know, it's so low miles and this and that. They didn't read the owner's manual where it says, you know, you gotta change the timing belt at 70,000 miles. You gotta change the head gasket. And they looking at the mileage like, this car is a piece of crap.
Or if you tell them that, they don't believe you.
Right.
They're like,
they
it's
think
driving
you out.
fine.
Yeah, they think you out for the motor sale. And
Yeah.
it's like, yo, your motor's shot, bro. You here to knock on the door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
You gotta say,
I mean, when a brand new car is sold to you, it should be said to you. You know what I mean? As a courtesy, you're going to spend thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? I would feel like, hey, I don't know nothing about a car,
Absolutely.
and I'm coming to you to buy a car. You know what I mean? When you go buy a car, they don't say, hey, read your owner's manual. Not a lot of people have time for that. People, you know, you bought the car because you need to do this and that.
It's an A and B. It's a basic utility.
And it's cool that
it should, hold on, not to cut you off. It should be a courtesy, but at the same time, it shouldn't be a requirement.
no, I mean,
Because at the same time, you buy shoes, they don't tell you how to wear it.
for a salesman,
You know what I mean?
And shoes and cars are two different things. And I mean, once for walking, once for driving. How far are your shoes going to really take you?
But the one thing they got in common is they both supposed to get you somewhere.
I mean, you get places without shoes.
But also, I think,
Africa. No shot.
I don't know, you go down to certain places of Florida, you know, certain depths of Florida,
The weather's
Normans,
permitted, you know, the weather's permitted, but not up north, you know.
But I've never experienced this myself, but I got family up in upstate New York that they've owned Volvos all their life. Their local Volvo dealer will call them, and you know this is the time of landlines. You probably don't know what that is. And we'll tell them, be like, hey, you have yada 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 coming up. You know, we're letting you know. You don't have to do it, but it is recommended to keep the car running for the longest period of time. When you go to Honda, Toyota, Subaru, they ain't doing that. Like your normal, everyday, run-of-the-mill.
You know what else they do? You know what else too?
They might send you like an email or like a little reminder card, but they're not calling you being like, Jeff, bring that shit in.
You know what it is too though? They don't do it to every car.
Yeah.
But if you spend X amount of dollars on a vehicle, they're going to do it because it's bringing in money. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a luxury vehicle that's worth over $80,000, they're going to do it. If you have a $40,000, $50,000 vehicle, you're not going to do it. And also, too, back in the day, they wasn't selling vehicles as they is now. Everybody and their grandmother has a vehicle.
Yeah.
I see them really reaching out to their continuous people that come and buy from them every X amount of years. I mean, your whole family got Volvos, so
like the loyal customers.
For a long time. So they say, hey, these guys are always in here spending thousands of dollars getting what's new. So we're gonna give them that courtesy. Hey, listen.
Versus somebody who one time gets a Toyota, the next time they get a Nissan, the next time they get a Subaru, then again another Toyota. Then
as usual, let us know what you think in the comments. Subscribe, like,
comment, share,
share it.
And visit
Quarter Mile.
Quarter Mile Performance.
Located in the Pocono Mountains.
Right on
423 and Route 611.
Yep.
Narrow gas.
Google it!
All right. And as always, Wrench Daily.
Ready? We got our wrenches. We got our wrenches. Let's hit it. All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Ranting with Wrenches. I am Ricky. This is Joe. All right. So what we're gonna do today for our two questions, first and foremost, is going to be something that a lot of people think about on a regular basis, even after they have cars. They just got a car, and then they're on the internet looking at another car. Or, you know, they talk about if they win the lotto. If you had the money, what, not one, but two cars would you buy right now if you could afford it? No ifs, ands, or buts, no restrictions. Hit it.
So the one car I would buy is Subaru WRX STI.
Really?
RA version. I'm sorry. I love Subaru. Like some.
All right. So what's the RA version?
So the RA version is a version that they came out with. I forgot what year, but maybe I think it's like a 2018, 19. They probably come out with it every year, but it's a limited edition. They only make like 500 of them.
So it's a Japanese spec.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's something that you're not going to get in the States. So
No, you get in the States, but it's a limited amount, like the Type R. So
Okay.
Subaru has two of them that come out limited.
I believe this
The
is the
RA
first. I believe this is the first time the Type R's come stateside for the Honda Civics. I believe it's the first time
Well,
come stateside.
They're still limited, so they make
Yeah,
like
they are.
600.
Okay.
So Subaru has the RA and the S209,
Okay.
which is a limited versions that they make in the States for people.
that and the S209. That's like the new. That's what they're
That's
going to
the-
have coming out now in the States, where you can actually order it.
That came out last year.
Yeah, last year,
Mhm.
and then that actually sparked an entire separate division
Yep.
of STI, or like the blossom, like the blossom red color set of cars.
Yeah.
So they're going to include the BRZ in that, the STI. I believe they're even going to involve the Forester in that. I think they're going to have a decent line of vehicles that fit into that whole STI performance segment.
Yeah.
So
So I know they have the what is it? I think the Forester, like you said.
yeah, the Forester.
I've seen that on the internet now.
Yeah,
STI version
and the
of that.
BRZ, they've already come out with a newer one, which I'm not going to touch too much on that because I want to discuss that in another video sometime down the road. But what's your second car?
So my second car, you may not agree on this, but
I
ever
wonder
since
why.
I seen it, I was like, you know what? I would like to own one of these. Ford RS. What do you think about that?
I think you stole one of my cars.
Ever since I seen it, because I was watching, what was it? I'm watching some, maybe, what's that car thing on YouTube?
What's that car thing on YouTube? Because they like
No, the YouTube
100,000
channel.
of them.
It's a well-known one. Trying to think of it. Well, it's a car channel,
There's a bunch of them.
but this one is pretty much famous. Where they did the WRX, they did the RS.
Throttle House?
Maybe.
I think it's Throttle House because the last video I seen with the RS, it was a drag race between.
Yeah.
I think it was the GTI, the Golf R, the WRX, and the
RS,
and the Focus RS.
And then they did the one with the Veloster N.
Okay.
The Veloster N was in it.
Yeah, but that's not even fair. That's like winding up a toy mouse
And not to say that the Velocity is a toy, but that's like winding up something that, you know, this little and freaking weighs about as much as my keychain, and telling it, you know, to fucking and telling the all-wheel drive car that's like 3,500 pounds to keep up with it.
But you're right. But the Veloster N did perform really good in that.
Oh, I think the Veloster N is an amazing car.
And the RS came in, I think, first.
Okay.
405 horsepower, straight out of the
the Ford Focus RS. I want to say the final year, the 2018, got a boost up to, I want to say, 350, and the 16 and 17, I think, had like, I want to say 330, 335. They did kind of an Evo type of thing. So like the first 2 years of the Mark III, I was like 330 something at the crank, and then the final year, I think it got a boost up to like 350, and the only color that comes stock is that red.
Oh, the red.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you see a red Focus RS, more than likely it is the 2018 final year version.
I see one at work.
Yeah, there is one at the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I like that.
So
what's on your list?
I'm going to start off with the car that Joe stole from me. The Ford Focus RS would be my first choice. Not a daily car, but something that can, you know, I can go out, have fun with in the snow, take to car shows, maybe even take to the track. Ford does have a I forget what it's called, but it's like it's a performance like week that you can sign up for. Go out to Utah, they have their own track out there, and they actually teach you how to make full use of the car and drift mode and everything.
That's cool.
So that's one reason why I would like it. Two, I have been following the Ford Focus ST and the RS since, I want to say, 2005. When I had my second one, which was a ZX3, and it was the two-door hatch stick shift, the one that I had the modified head on that I mentioned in a previous episode. Then I started kind of digging really deep to find out what these cars could really do, and that's when I came across that the UK had the Focus ST, which was about 200 horsepower, and the RS, which used at the time, because Ford owned the controlling stock, the Volvo Inline 5 2.5 liter engine, turbo. So that was putting out about 290 to the wheels, I believe. And then that was the Mark 1, and then the Mark 2, I believe, was just cresting 300. I believe it was like 305.
That's not bad.
No.
That's
And
good.
a lot of people were dying for that car to come over. It had a really, really large following out in the UK. We'll post a picture down here in the corner somewhere,
Yeah.
so you can see what this car looks like, because it really is a fantastic car. People in the UK love it. They even love the Mark III version. But before I go off on a complete unstoppable rant, but you know what I mean, the drift mode and the fact that it was built around Ken Block and his driving style is why I really love it. It's a niche car, also, you know, considered like a Subaru fighter, but I think it's something completely completely different. My second car, it's got 2 syllables, all right, 1 sound, and it's based after Jurassic Park. The Ford F-150 Raptor. That sumbitch, serious. You can drive over everything you want. You can park wherever you want. You got a twin turbo V6 in it. The suspension is absolutely ridiculous by Fox Racing. That thing is just, it's comfortable, it's roomy, it's sporty. You get everything you want. You get the ability to tow stuff. You get the ability to race. You get the ability to just take it off road. You can do whatever you want in that thing. It's family, it's fun, and everything in between. Those are my two cars.
You know what? I had a feeling you was gonna pick that.
Listen,
I was like, yo,
I
I heard him talking about the Raptor. I knew he's gonna pick it.
The one car I do want to give an honorable mention to, because it was kind of hard for me not to pick it, and the only reason why I didn't pick it was because of like maintenance, and then obviously if whatever car I get, I've got to be able to work on it myself. The Porsche 718 Cayman GT4. That is I want to say a 4-liter flat 6. It's non-turbo, but that thing is amazing. It is a high revving car, and it's nice. It's really nice. That thing throws you back in the seat every single time you get on the gas pedal. But again, like, I would be too afraid. Like, it's so expensive of a car, I would be too afraid to touch it. I think that one, like, I think the GT4 is like right before you start entering 911 turbo range, and it's like 125 grand, I want to say. I'm not 100%, but I mean, you can get them, cheap-ish for Porsche prices, like 66K. Okay. But at the same time, for 66K, I could get a brand new Ford F-150 Raptor and just destroy whatever's in front of me.
I've seen a couple videos of that thing racing. It's a monster.
It is.
I'm not even gonna lie.
It is a savage.
Like, yo.
I would be willing to match that up against diesels. Like them diesels that line up against like Evos and Subarus, and then you see the big puff of black smoke and the thing is gone. I would line up the Raptor next to those. Might still get whooped, but I don't think it's going to get whooped as bad as because the torque that this thing has is ridiculous. Twisting chassis. But
how much torque it comes with? About. It has to be in like a 300 range or something.
I think it's actually in the 400.
4?
I believe.
That's crazy.
I haven't looked at it in a while because it started hurting my soul looking at it, knowing that I can't get it. So, I will mention the specs on another episode. If anybody's interested, let me know by leaving a comment. Obviously down in the comment section. I always want to say description. Leave a comment if you want to know what the specs of that thing are, or just look it up yourself and you tell me. All right. So, woosah. So, our second question is going to be, I already know what the answer is going to be. What is your ideal daily driver and why? You can't just say, because I love it, or, that you need like a legit reasoning behind the drive.
All right. I'll tell you. Like you said, you already know what I'm going to say. I always stick to it. At one point, I was gonna pick a pickup truck because, like you said, like the Raptor. Well, nothing too powerful, but you could utilize it at any condition. Taking stuff, picking up stuff at the store.
Man.
Furniture.
Yep.
It's all used. You can use it every day for multiple purposes.
You can pick up your redneck buddies and drink in the back.
But my answer is always going to be Subaru WRX, 2013 model, the same one I have. I love it. The reason why I picked that is I don't really care for, I don't really care for furniture and all that. I use it for groceries. It's an all year round car. Rain,
you
summer.
Just say, I don't care for furniture, so if I go upstairs, you just got beanbags everywhere? Like Big Joe Boxer type of beanbag chairs and shit that last 2 weeks?
Well, most people picked up the large SUVs because they want to utilize it for, like, whatever, businesses.
Or because they got kids and a massive dog.
Yeah, I don't have no dog. But I like the Subaru. It's an all year round car. I don't have to worry about nothing. Gas is not expensive for it, even though it uses premium. Modifying it, I love it. The drivetrain, one of the best in all the platforms out there. So that's another thing I don't have to worry about.
You can't let that go, can you?
No, I can't.
It's one of the best all-wheel drive platforms.
One of the funnest.
Not the best. I still don't think it's the best.
All right. You know what? We're gonna have to make a video showing some clips of
Listen, it's gonna be some
destroying anything in its way when it comes to driving. Let's say mud, snow.
I'm not
hills,
saying did I say it's not good. I just
No,
said
I'm
it's
just
not
saying
the
we're gonna
best.
have to show clips of showing it destroying
All right.
every German car out there, every American car out there, pickups,
What
semi
about other
trucks.
Japanese cars?
Every Japanese car out there, don't matter.
Someone's getting a little excited.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
But
So
yeah, I love it.
okay. So we know Joe is Subi through and through, with the exception of the Ford Focus RS.
Yes.
So my daily, which again, it's another one that I struggled with, because I did think about the Subaru. I even thought about going Audi, but I didn't.
All right, I'm surprised now.
I need something that I can throw stuff in the back, because I got kids. They're in sports, so I need space for equipment and stuff like that. But also at the same time, I want something I can zip around the corners in, something that I can handle. I would like all-wheel drive for those expected, extremely rainy days, or you hit some gravel on the side, or we live up in the mountains, freak snow days, chilly black ice type of stuff. But I am staying German.
I wonder what you picked.
So my ideal daily driver would be the Volkswagen Golf R.
Okay.
It's a car that's got a good lineage, going all the way back to the R32. It's got plenty of parts, right? If I want to add more power to it, I can go and find a tuner or a tune very easily. It's another good all-wheel drive platform.
Yes.
Probably a little bit better gas mileage, because the way they have it set up, it's more of a slip and grip with the halodeck system versus the full-time all-wheel drive the way a Subaru is.
Yeah.
But I've got space with the hatch. I can fold down the seats, and felt like if y'all have never driven a hatchback, trust me, them things are surprising.
It's a substitute pickup.
Kinda, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like a poor man's pickup, because you can fold them back seats down, and you'd be surprised what you can fit. You can't have no one else in the car with you, depending on the size, but still, But yeah, I can put my kids in the back, wife in the passenger side, or I can just drive by myself and throw it around. I can take it out in the snow, take it out in the mud. You know what I mean? Don't have to worry about getting stuck. So that is my daily driver pick.
I can see that. I know you mentioned that a couple times to me about how you wanted the R.
Yeah, but it's also a bit more comfortable.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? Subaru is a very raw experience, which I kind of like about that. Like I like that brutish personality that the Subaru has. But when you look at other cars, German cars tend to be a bit more refined in what they're giving you. Why they tend to be a little bit heavier, because they're trying to get the comfort along with the power. But yeah, I think that would cover all of my daily needs. I can go shopping and not have to worry about destroying the eggs with the Rumble on the way home. Yeah.
That's a good choice. I like the German cars. I ain't gonna lie, I like them. Especially the interior. Yeah, they do an amazing job with those. Regardless of what car you're getting.
Yeah.
They always give you something to look forward to. Compared to, Japanese, where they'll give you 2 seats and then everything else is just plastic and garbage radio.
I mean,
in my Subaru. The radio's horrible.
The Germans have gotten better with their interiors. Like, for a long time, the main thing with the Golfs was those checker style seats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's really why I never liked the GTIs, because of the damn seats. I'm like, why look like
That's that race flag.
It's like a woodsman was sitting there for too long and in the heat and just peeled off his back and you're stuck in the chair. You know what I mean? They almost got me though. I think it was back in, I want to say like 2003, 2004, where they were selling like the little demon guy that
Okay.
freaking came with each new purchase of a GTI. That like feed your fast or some. And the commercial had this tiny little thing sitting on the dashboard staring at you with an evil smile.
So you was gonna get it because of that? And this is the problem we got with some people. They buy cars for stickers.
No, I also liked it because it would have been the first tuner car or turbo car that I had. That it would have been the first car that I had that was something that the car community, had a large group for. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because, I've never, even with the Jetta, that wasn't my first choice in getting a car. It was what was available, it was what I could afford at the time, and it just so happened to be like, oh, there's a Jetta for this price range. You know what I mean? Let me talk to the guy, see how it is. Let me take a look at it. You know what I mean? Like, and I hadn't driven a stick shift in probably like 4 or 5 years. And as soon as I got in there, I was like, "Can I test drive it?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." I peeled out of the driveway right down here at Dairy Queen, and we headed up the back road, and I was just flying. I just flying up the back road, like went up one of the hills, probably caught maybe a little bit of air, just enough where you could feel the up and down, but nothing where it slammed. And not to mention he had a lowering kit on it, so I was taking turns. I was like, "Oh, I like this, bro. I like this." And it had it had that poppy gurgly exhaust.
Okay.
Not the one that the one I have now is better because that
Yeah.
one sounded like really hollow. The one I got now sounds more throaty. But yeah, that's what made me buy the Jetta. So I believe we've covered what we need to cover.
Yeah, I believe that's it.
All right. So stay tuned for next week for our next episode.
Yes.
Do not forget, share, comment, like, unlike, subscribe, watch some other videos, see what you think, drop some comments.
Yes, let us know. Got any opinions, anything you want us to talk about? Drop it.
Absolutely. We also got a Facebook page, WrenchHeadsTuning. We also have the Instagram page, WrenchHeadsTuning. I just posted some stuff as far as the turbo upgrade that I'm doing on the Jetta. So, and then Joe is going to be having a video coming out soon for the update on the
Subaru.
the update status of the Subaru.
Yep.
All right. So stay tuned, and as always, Wrench Daily.
Wrench Daily.